As you get older, loneliness can become an issue for many senior people. But seniors are not the only ones who may suffer from loneliness. Maybe work has dictated that you have to move away from family and friends, maybe leaving you feeling isolated in a new community. Well, a new organisation has been set up to combat such loneliness and provide positive support across the generations. The organisation is called Grandfriends, and the founder is Jo Hayes.
When I had my daughter, who's now 10 years old, for me there was really something I felt was really missing, and that was obviously my family and my parents back in the UK. And I had this thought in my mind that it would be great to be able to have something like that here, but didn't really think much more of it at that point. It was only really when my relationship with my kid's dad, we separated. When that fell apart, I got to a point where I was feeling really quite lonely and quite isolated and needed a bit more support than what I currently had. And I fell into this incredible friendship with Granny Susan, as everybody knows her as. I met her at our local daycare that my daughter was going to, and her grandson, and she was picking him up and I was picking up my daughter. And yeah, we had this great friendship, and it turned into what is now the original Surrogate Grandparents, Grandfriends.
One day Jo said, I wish I had one of you, because I was there picking up my grandchildren such a lot that she would have liked the help.
Oh, right, yeah.
And I said, I can be there for you. I'm happy to be your grandparent in this situation. And it grew from there.
How often do you see each other?
Almost daily.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it's lovely.
Yeah. So it fills a gap in your life?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm always collecting people and children. That's just what I do.
Oh, right. Okay.
But we're on a personal level, Jo and I are very, we're kindred spirits, aren't we? We get on very well.
It's just really from that thought, and lots of people had said to me that, you know, it would be amazing if we could have somebody in our life like that. You know, we don't have grandparents here for our children. How can we do this? And I decided that, yeah, I was going to give it a go.
A recent recruit to Grandfriends is Charlotte, who lives alone and was looking for some young companionship.
It just happened last year. I was talking to a friend and she said, I've just been reading a notice about in my library and there's a meeting from this friend, an organisation up at Browns Bay, and maybe that'd be for you. And it was the following week and I was free, and I went up and listened to Jo and immediately signed an application form.
The head office of Grandfriends is Jo's home, and Jo's office is her kitchen table. It's from here that suitable matchings of Grandfriends are made. With Charlotte's application in hand, Jo was able to see a suitable match with a young family living nearby.
And then we met Charlotte last December, which was, really cool. And we just knew right from the start that it was going to be a really, really special, important relationship. We just clicked, and she was really easygoing.
When Ava comes here, once it was quite sure she was comfortable with me, and she became comfortable certainly with the house very quickly. And she would, come and lead me to the bedroom, to the toys. So sometimes Katie might slip away for a walk or do a little chore and leave Ava here, and Ava was comfortable, bye mummy, and so we would just play, and then they'd come, or Andy, if he finished work, would come and pick her up, and we'd have a chat, and off she'd go. And right from the quite early on, because she's an astute little thing, but she would know when she was driving past my house and say, her attempts at getting my name correct, which she does now, which is at 2 years old. She can say Charlotte very clearly.
It brings us this kind of another figure for Ava that we don't have in Auckland at the moment. Ava has 2 sets of very wonderful grandparents, but the organisation is so great because it gives Ava another figure to look up to. She's got this beautiful friend now, and more importantly, relationship that she didn't have before. And for Andy and I, it's just so special to see her grow with Charlotte. Yeah, it's really important, you know, the amount of chat she has about Charlotte and things she remembers is really special to us.
How do you match people up?
The application form that we have on our website, people need to complete that, and it basically asks them some general questions about themselves and their lives and their families.
Yeah.
And once they submit that, we get all that information. Then really it's a case for us for looking at who we currently have on our database, or going out and finding somebody who we think might be a good match for them. Out in our regions in the country, we have a number of regional coordinators, and their role is basically to be the matchmakers of these people. So they would go out and meet the members, find out a little bit more about them, you know, what it is they want, and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, it would really go from there. And I think, you know, with our regional coordinators meeting these people, they would get to find a good deal out about them, and have a sense of who they are and who they might be good to match with, and that's how we really work it.
So is it quite a lengthy process?
It can be, yes, it can be. Essentially, you're almost looking for a lifetime partnership, you know, sort of connection, human connection. So it can take some time to find the right person or people or family or whatever that is. So yeah, you know, you might not be you might not find the perfect match first time. You know, when you meet somebody else who we introduce you to, they might not be the right match for your family. However, you know, come back to us if that's the case, and we will look for somebody else for you. So it can take a little time, but that's just part of the course, really.
The added benefit that I perhaps hadn't particularly been focusing on was, you know, developing a friendship with Katie, you know, a beautiful young woman with this gorgeous little girl, and just being able to joke about stuff and be very easy in each other's company. You know, it's not I'm using them just to have their child. They're not using me
As a babysitter?
to babysit. And because a couple of my friends have said, you know, do you have a regularly on a certain day? And I said, no, it's fluid, and I can offer to do some extra help. Katie now feels comfortable now to ask me if I can. But again, apparently friends said to her, you know, does she do da-da-da-da-da? And Katie said, no, it's not like that. So that's the lovely thing, that they are just so, caring of me and welcoming, that I somehow didn't quite, you know, build into the picture.
I was doing the majority of it on my own to start with, and what initially was supposed to be a very small community base, just really for the region that I was living in, organisation. I happened to put a post up on our local community Facebook page, just sort of telling people that this is what I was planning on doing, and, you know, just getting a little bit of feedback about what they felt about that, and everybody loved it. Everybody absolutely loved it, and the local press got hold of it, then the national press got hold of it, and the national TV got hold of it. So there are a couple of sort of appearances on the local TV, and really that was that. And I started having applications from Christchurch and from the Bay of Plenty, and just from all over. And I'm very much one of those people who doesn't like to say no to people. So I was like, okay, so what was going to be a little small community-based initiative is turning into something much bigger. And so we've just run with it, and we have a team now of about, over 40 people. I'm actually training up some people next week to add to the team, so yes.
That's not just Auckland based then?
No, not at all. We have people basically covering from Kerikeri up in the north down to Dunedin in the south. So, yeah.
It's not free babysitting, no, it's nothing like that. For us, it's the relationship and having that extra special person in our family, and that's what we were seeking. I guess that's the gap filler. It's an incredible organisation. I mean, you've heard it all before, but it's really, really amazing. You know, they've done an incredible job. Just there's nothing like this relationship between Ava and Charlotte, and you know, every time she runs in here and sees her is just really amazing.
Yeah.
Twinkle, twinkle, toes. Ready? Should we go? This little piggy.
My kid.
Marcus. And this little piggy.
Nugget.